This is a glimpse into my life. Life with Eric.
Eric's here.
And I'm Kiley.
And I'm Eric.
Okay, I think we know who you are.
Oh.
So you know what they say, right?
What?
Third time's a charm.
Yes, they do. And why is third time a charm today?
Today, I was going to say in our lives there's different meanings. But today.
Yeah, right. Okay, just keep going on with the podcast.
Today.
Our guest is going to run out of here.
Our guest.
Who do we have here? Say his
you
name.
want me to?
I want you to say his name now.
Jazz?
His last name.
Oh.
I was practicing. Our guest today is Jazz Baduwalia.
Yes, sir.
And I said your name right again.
I know.
Exactly.
And you have like a little
Spaz to it, right?
Yeah.
Baduwalia.
Pizzazz.
It's got like a
that's
little,
a good name.
yeah.
That might be the best word I say right there.
It might
There
be.
you go.
Like,
That's it.
Can you say my maiden name?
What's your maiden name?
Yeah.
Her maiden name is Lago Marcino.
Right.
Lago Marcino.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got it. Yeah,
It's
you
pretty
got
cool.
it. But anyway, we're really excited. I had to bribe Jazz to be on the podcast with Sloppy Joe's today.
Yes.
Extra sloppy.
Now, how on a scale of 1 to
Oh.
10, how are those Sloppy Joe's?
I haven't had sloppy joes in years.
Oh, okay.
So, I always like it when, sloppy.
Right.
And
I'm talking about the flavor, the taste.
no, surprisingly, it was actually really good.
Surprisingly.
Right.
Really good.
Have you ever had a bad meal at this house?
No, I don't think so.
Right.
Awesome.
There we go. We've had tacos. We've had lasagna.
Lasagna, yeah.
We have.
Yeah.
We had lasagna. We had sloppy joes.
No,
we
sloppy
had chicken
joes,
tacos.
yep.
Chicken tacos. Yeah. We're good. That's how I got.
So
So, those of you that don't know, and people probably do know that re-listen to us, Jazz and I are friends from acting class.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Over a decade now.
Yeah. Jazz was a little kid, and I was a lot younger.
A kid with saggy pants.
You're
Oh,
right.
saggy pants.
I used to sag all the time.
Oh, no.
All
Right.
the time.
It was good though. You, I think you and I are the oldest people at Take Two. That've been
Like
there the
they've
longest.
been there the longest. I don't think
Yeah,
oldest
yeah.
is right.
Who else? I mean, Grant, who is a teacher now, but he's not in class still.
No, he's not.
But he left for a little while. But I think it's you and I.
Does that make you guys slow learners?
Yeah,
Just
pretty
joking.
much.
Yeah.
Just joking.
Kinda.
No,
Yeah.
that means you want to keep learning and growing.
Exactly. I always look at it as like, you're not gonna stop working out per se if you have the perfect body.
Right.
It's the same thing as
Yeah, that's what I say.
as being.
Me
it's,
too.
it's the same thing as being an actor. You're not gonna stop if you feel like you're. People like Leonardo
Yeah.
DiCaprio, Will Smith, they all still have acting coaches. They
Right.
still do classes.
Yeah,
Well,
just as you get to be a bigger actor, you just have a private coach.
Right.
But you still have a
Exactly.
coach.
You
And,
always. Yep.
and you probably don't even do it until you get a role, then you go intensify on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would do it. Right now, I'm in acting class because I don't have the big roles. So you got to keep sharp. But if you had a consistent roles coming on, you would always be with your acting teacher.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if anyone would stick around for you.
Why?
You're difficult.
Well, you're my acting coach.
And
so,
I
yeah.
am forced to stick around. Yeah.
He micromanages.
Right.
Right.
You tried to micromanage dinner.
Right.
He did. Yeah.
I was explaining to Jazz how to put together a sloppy Joe.
How do you know he doesn't already know?
I just figured he didn't.
Yeah.
He was like, you see these? These are called buns, Jazz.
Right.
No, not those buns. These buns.
And I said you don't want too much stuff on. You don't want too
What
much
if he did
sloppy
want?
Joe on there because you don't want it too messy.
Yeah. And that's when Kylie was like, "Stop micromanaging. Stop telling him how to eat."
Right. How to make a
Right.
dinner, his plate.
And where we're eating, we're talking about acting the whole time. I'm like, why do we have the
Literally.
mics fired up this whole time we're talking about?
Right.
But the biggest thing we talked about is you've done a lot of auditions, right, Jazz? Like
Yeah, fairly a good amount now.
like a lot of them, and everything's done online now,
Digital.
or digital. You don't go and do an audition on in person. Very very rarely
Yeah.
you do that.
Not for 2 years now. 2 years. Wow.
Yeah,
2 years.
I would say almost 3 years probably.
With COVID,
With
yeah.
COVID, yeah.
Because it's
Oh, they shut down for a
2023.
while, and then, so.
Yeah.
It's
My
crazy.
last audition was in person was March 2019.
Oh wow, yeah. I can't even think of
Right?
my last in-person audition, but I'm just starting to get used
Like
to
the
the
last
digital
century?
ones. No, yeah.
Just joking again.
What was your last audition you did just recently?
Oh, recently? So recently I read for General Hospital.
Right. How'd that go?
Impressive.
We don't know.
Probably waiting.
Yeah. There's a strike going on. It was a WGA, which I fully support. And the SAG after strike, which is also really important for us actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So You know, so
What's the
hopefully-
biggest issue for you on the SAG strike?
Oh, that's a good question.
The biggest issue for me is AI. I think, you know, when you watch movies back in the day, you used to watch AI taking over people's jobs and this and that. It was cool. It was, you know, like, oh my God, like how crazy would that be? Especially if it's being implemented into our careers now for actors that, you know, there's a lot of actors in LA that live just off of being extras. So for AI being used is going to put a lot of actors out of jobs. And also it's hard for us because we're not going to get what we're supposed to be getting paid just because of AI, the technology, Chat GPT. It's true what Elon Musk said. AI is going to take over the world.
I think so. The one thing that's kind of sad is there's a lot of actors. There's thousands of actors in LA that do extra work only. You know, a lot of people don't even try to get bigger roles. They just want to be extras. Because I've been extras in LA, and you talk about these people, and they're career extra people. So they'll make a couple $100 a day, and they work 4 or 5 days a week. And these casting directors that cast extras, like you know, extras casting. What's the other ones down there? The
casting network.
Yeah, they have the different extra casting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't think what they're called now, but some of these people have been there for years, and they get to know them. They go, oh, he'll show up, so
Yep.
we'll put him as background or whatever. And then some people just get on these shows, and they just stay on these shows forever as background. But when AI comes in, what does AI mean, Keeks?
Artificial intelligence.
Right, just in case someone didn't know out there. When that comes
What if I
in,
didn't know?
According to Doug, our acting coach, he said that when you get on set, you could be a day player for $800, let's say.
And a day player is usually spread out over the course of either 6 to 8 days, depending. But like you said, as a day player, they can use you for that one day, do a full body scan, make you sign that contract. You're desperate, you're gonna sign it, and then they basically own you. It's literally like right before the strike, Black Mirror came out.
Yes.
TV show on Netflix. It's literally like Black Mirror. The first episode was Salma Hayek. Like the studios owned. It was like Netflix. So they owned her likeness, and they were using her, you know, to defecate in a church. And she was like, I didn't sign up for this. They're like, yeah, you did. You gave us your face, basically, so they can make her do whatever.
Do whatever they want with it.
Literally
you signed
whatever.
This consent that you didn't
First
read.
of all, did you say Selma Hayek?
Yes.
Now we're watching that later.
Now I got to see
Yeah,
this.
He
it's
doesn't
called,
know what
I love Selma Hayek.
Yeah, it's
man.
called Joan is Beautiful.
He
It's
doesn't
actually,
know what Black Mirror is. I do.
I don't know what Black Mirror is.
No, watch it, and you'll be like, this is
Mind
exactly
blown.
what's going on.
I do know what Selma Hayek is, though.
Oh my God. Do you know what her face looks like?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. She's a great actress. She's in many of my favorite movies.
Okie dokes. Name one.
Fools with the guy
Rush
from
In.
Friends. Fools Rush In. My
There you
favorite
go.
movie. But anyway, yeah, that's
I also watch Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh, yeah.
did you finally watch
I
that?
watched it.
Now, what did you think?
Yeah,
It was a
what
good
was your
movie.
opinion?
I thought it was really good. I didn't know that at the ending, I don't know, I kind of knew because once you put up the scene in class, I knew that there wasn't going to be anything in it, you know, like that. But it was just money and a letter to Morgan Freeman to where he can meet him.
Why don't you elaborate that? How did you learn about Shawshank Redemption?
So Eric presented me with the scene
Wow.
in
You want a pat on the
class.
back?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, we got to do this scene.
Yeah, and you were like, yeah, it's actually a really good movie. And I think throughout doing the scenes over the course of those 2 weeks, people were kind of giving it away in class, like, oh, yeah, remember at the end, like, it's not really anything.
I know, because I was like,
Spoiler
after we
alert,
do this
yeah.
scene, you got to watch this movie.
Yeah.
It's funny because River watched the movie too. You know,
From-
because of class. He's like, oh, man, that was a great, because that was a great movie. And so he watched it too. So
I had
Yes,
never seen it until you either.
yeah, it's a great movie. That's one of
Turn
my
everyone
that's
on
one of
to
my
this movie.
favorite movies. Yeah.
I didn't know that he was getting, like, because I thought when he first got into prison, he was going to be that quiet type, brooding, but strong, because he was a big dude. But I didn't know that he was getting, he was getting raped in prison. He was, but he was.
He was super smart.
Yeah, so
He
he
knew how to
knew
manipulate everybody.
Exactly, and he got the person that was committing the, the awful act. He got him kicked out of prison.
Yeah.
He paralyzed him, right? The guards beat him till he was paralyzed.
Who?
The inmate that was like raping him.
Oh, probably.
Yikes.
I can't
Wow.
remember.
When was the last time you saw it?
I-
I can't remember. I don't know.
Okie doke.
He was like, huh? What
All I
was
know
it?"
is just
He's all,
don't.
"What
you-
happened
All
in
I
the
know is just
movie?"
don't drop the soap. That's all I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one
That's
thing
all
you don't
I know.
do.
That's where you learned that?
Yeah, fine. I was taking a shower before I
You
dropped
did
soap
drop
like
the
18
soap.
times.
You yelled
Yeah.
it out at me.
Like, don't drop the soap. Don't drop the soap.
He drops it even
Yeah.
in class.
I got a good question for you, Jazz. Now, you audition for all this stuff, and you're a ride to die, man. You're gonna be a famous actor.
Ride to die or ride and or
Right?
die?
What do they call
Ride
it?
or die.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you're a ride or die again. You got into
What was
this.
that, riding to die?
Yeah.
I said ride to die.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing.
Okay, you know what I mean. You got into this acting thing, and you're going full bore.
Yeah.
Bore?
Everything.
Because I
What are you
think
talking about, Keeks? What did she say?
You full bore? That's
Full
like
bore.
a full board.
Full board.
floorboard.
I don't usually do the podcast at night. I'm delirious.
Is
right
that
now.
okay?
No,
Okay.
I think realistically, like if I'm speaking like openly, I don't have a plan B. You know, I don't think of, oh, if this doesn't work out, maybe I'll get into this because I don't know how to do anything else, or I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
You know, in other words, but I've always looked at it as, you know, for example, like Will Smith, Kevin Hart, they always said it. There's no reason to have a plan B because it'll always distract you from your plan A. And if you're fully focused and you're driven and you're not even motivated, but if you're disciplined, you are gonna achieve success. But it's just a matter of when. It's not gonna happen on your time. It's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen.
That's been my problem.
I think I
because
need to quit my job.
I have wives.
No?
I
Okay.
have kids. I have all my businesses and all this stuff. And then I fell in love with acting. You know, so many years ago, 14 years ago or so. And so I've a lot of distractions. Now I'm getting to the
Right.
point in my life where I'm kind of can rein it in. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I still have a lot of distractions, but
Mhm.
you know, not as many.
Yeah, and I, you know, just like with any career, you are gonna have those times where you maybe want to rethink the career you're in. But I think
Done
those are
been
just
there.
doubts that us being imperfect humans have. And then you need to figure out your why you're doing it. Are you doing it for the money and fame, or are you doing it because you genuinely
Right.
love doing what you're
Period.
doing? And I think I can speak for both of us when we love, you know, whether the pay is great. Obviously, you want the big paycheck, but just being on set, you know, gives you a certain kind of joy and happiness that being at your real job doesn't provide for you. No matter
Mhm.
if you're making millions from that or not.
Versus, yeah.
You know, because I feel like as an actor, it's that part of you that wants to be a kid again. And being an actor, you can be that kid. You can be in that playground and have lots of fun with it because you're not yourself. You're playing a whole different character.
Right.
Right.
It takes a certain person to do that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
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 Otherwise, everyone
Yeah.
would be an actor.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
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 People that always. I was on this one shoot one time, and I couldn't get the dialogue right.
That's
and I was-
weird.
Yeah, no shit. And I was getting real tired and stuff. I had the whole day I was perfect till the end of the day, and I was getting real tired and everything.
Uh-huh.
And so finally, the director guy said, "Let's take a break." And let's just take a break, just like what you
Yeah,
say, Keeks.
break.
Get something to drink, whatever. We took
Uh-huh.
a break, and they had a big old buffet and everything. We're just kind of talking like this, and then his like assistant says, "I can't believe you can't get that. That's like so easy."
You
or
go do
whatever."
it.
And I go, "Well, you try it then. When we go back out there, just try one, you know." And the guy was kind of a dick anyway. And so we went out there, and he knew my lines. He said he knew them
Yeah.
all. And so I go, okay. And he stood in front of the camera, and
Didn't do it.
he couldn't even get 2 words out.
Jeez.
And the director started laughing. He's like, and it's like, oh yeah, sorry, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
you tried.
Dang.
You know,
What was
'cause
he
it's-
like an
'cause
ex-
it's
what,
not-
what was his role?
He was like assistant to the. He was like he had the script, right?
Oh, like
Oh,
a script
geez.
supervisor.
And,
basically.
yeah, basically. And so how could you not get this? How could you not get
You
this?
yeah. Easier
Because
said
you
than
have the
done.
fucking
script,
script in front of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
You have a camera and lights pointing at you.
Right.
Tell me if you can do it.
Right.
Mhm. I think when whether it's doing an audition or being on set, you know that everyone's dependent on you getting this right. So I think it does come with immense pressure for you to perform, you know, and I think that's when we do, you know, mess our lines up.
I can see too at the end of the day where everyone's like, "Hey, last scene, let's do it," and you're like,
Yeah, let's get this right.
So we can
and
go
yeah,
home, and
yeah.
you're like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm not
Right.
getting it right."
That's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
Kind of just
Yeah.
like that. It was getting so delirious and tired. and
Yeah.
it was like one of those things where it was all green screen. I was the only one in front of the camera, and so it was just me all day with these guys, and just one of those kind of things. So it was exhausting. But anyway, I always had this question for you, and I'd never asked you this question, Jazz.
Yeah, go ahead, shoot.
What's your perfect role?
Ooh.
I've never asked like what's the character look like, and I mean I know he looks like you, but what's he what's it look like?
I think once in my career, I do want to play a Marvel character.
I think you would be perfect.
I think
Right?
so too,
Yeah, I would
yeah.
love to do like a Marvel
Yep.
character or like a DC character.
Yep.
But I think my dream role or my dream character to play would be something real, something in a sense of impactfulness, like Sound of Freedom, for example,
Mhm.
the movie that just came out. Something
Oh,
real that's
It's funny. I put that in my notes right now because I knew you saw that movie. I want to.
oh
We're
my
gonna go
God,
next
it's-
week and
yes,
see that
please.
Hopefully it's still in theaters.
if it's
Yeah.
still around.
Yeah, I would like a role like Sound of Freedom, where or like even living in a Indian household, you know, and putting up with the dramas and the importance of, you know, being Indian and going to school and doing I would love to play a character that's more real and grounded than a character-driven story, you know, aside from
A drama.
yeah, a
Yeah.
character-driven story. But I would always lean more towards drama than comedy. I think comedy is fun, but I've always been more of a dramatic actor. So yeah, that'd be my perfect role, to do something that's real, something that's impactful, that's something that's gonna make people move, whether it's based on a true story or whether it's fictional. But yeah, something like that. What about you?
What would you
Yeah,
be
that's a
like? The older brother or the uncle, or what would you be?
Either.
Say you lived in this. I'm making the movie up now.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Say you lived in this Indian household,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a drama, and it's you know HBO series or something like that.
Uh-huh.
What would your character be?
I think my character would be. I would love to play with the thought of being embarrassed of who I am, and then over the course of the seasons or over the course of the episodes, you know, figuring out the lengths that it took my parents to come here, and you know, my uncles to come here, and the hardship that they had to deal with. I would love to come off as like a privileged kid that's, you know, like I'm embarrassed to be Indian.
Yeah.
People are gonna think I'm weird or this and that, or my culture's weird. Then over the course, you know, you slowly start to accept it, and you know the importance of it, and know that, you know, it's beautiful for what you have.
And then the audience kind of grows with you.
Exactly, yeah.
And learns like the important, like
Well, I think this is. You could put this to fruition. This is good. This is
totally
gonna happen. It's
could.
kind of like your
Yeah.
tattoo. What's your
Yeah.
tattoo say?
Yeah, so I have a tattoo on my chest.
forgot
It
that
says,
one.
Take pride in your
Right, yeah.
in your heritage.
That's right
it's
there.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In Punjabi.
I'm sold. I
Yeah,
watch
and
it.
it's actually kind of real, because when I was in middle school and in freshman year of high school, I was embarrassed, you know, because everyone around me was either
Different, yeah.
Hispanic or Caucasian or African American, and at my school it was most of the people there were Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I would always think to myself, like, oh my God, like, what if they think it's weird? You know, what
Yeah.
if, like, this and that?
Think I'm
So
so
every time,
different.
and I still remember to this day, my theater teacher in high school, he asked me, he's like, hey, Jazz, like, in front of everyone, he goes, hey, Jazz, what's your ethnicity? I think he knew that I was embarrassed.
Oh, so he
So,
called you
right.
out.
Yeah, so he's like, hey, Jazz, what's your ethnicity? And immediately my heart started pounding, and I
Like
was
what?
like,
I wanna
What do
lie.
you say? What
Yeah.
am I gonna say?
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
I was like, what am I gonna? I was like,
What
well,
can I
I'm
fake
Indian.
it?
I'm mixed. I was like, oh, I'm mixed. You know, I'm like Indian. I think I'm half like Hawaiian. I don't even know what I
Yeah.
said, but I just remember
Oh,
saying
man.
it and then feeling like
That's harsh, dude.
crap right
Yeah,
after, right?
That's harsh.
And then I think it was during that summer or sophomore year. That's when I really kind of thought about it, and I was all like, why am I being embarrassed? If I'm being embarrassed, then I'm basically, you know, like shitting on my heritage and my parents and what
Shaming
they
or-
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So then I kind of just had to accept it, and now it's the most beautiful thing. Now when someone
Yeah.
asks me, I say it proudly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And I think it's
Nice.
cool. It's different.
That could be your fucking series right there.
Oh my God,
Right?
you could like
Serious,
create this
yeah.
right here.
Like I'm like, yeah, let's start writing this down.
no kidding.
This is good. I'll be your. Whenever I can. Can I play an Indian guy?
No.
Probably not, huh?
You'll be the
No.
theater teacher.
Yeah, you're the
I'll be
theater
the-
teacher.
I'll be the neighbor.
hey,
The
keep
Ameri-
it down.
the super American neighbor.
Keep these damn kids off my
Yeah,
lawn.
he'll be the Karen. You can
Yeah.
be the Karen.
Yeah, I'll be the Karen neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
boy.
I'll be like Clint Eastwood. I'll sit on my
the porch.
porch with a
your-
shotgun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get
Gran
off my
Torino.
lawn. Yeah.
Yeah, the Gran Torino. Get your car off my lawn.
Yeah. Yeah, but something like that, man. And obviously, I would love to play a character like Batman, you know.
Yeah.
But I do want to play it when I'm older. I do want to play a character when I'm older. Probably like in my early to mid 30s. I would love to play a character that's a superhero. Now I just want to do like more shows in a sense of like Riverdale or Stranger Things, something fun. But later on
Yeah.
in my career, I would love to hone it down and do more serious roles. And
Well, I kind of
Mhm.
feel like if you, can kind of. I think most actors' careers kind of go that way. They can, and I think like directors, producers take it more serious as they
when
get
you're older,
and you have they're
When
like,
you-
oh, you okay.
exactly, when you look mature, You know, you look more mature. You're older. So I think, yeah, it's like watching Superman when he's 25. You know, he's still gonna look young. You're not really gonna believe it. And then compared to like Henry Cavill when he was in his mid-30s to late 30s,
You're like, oh yeah,
that's Superman. Yeah, or that's Batman when you see Christian Bale or Ben Affleck or
that's
you
true.
know. Yeah, so I think it's a more of an audience thing. They want it to be believable.
Yep,
that's true.
What about you, Eric?
Totally
What's
agree with
your
yeah? What is
dream role?
yours?
Well,
I don't know this even.
I'll tell you what. I mean, my ideal role would definitely
Not
be
ideal dream.
What?
Not ideal.
What do you mean?
What's your dream world?
Oh, I think I'd be really
Dream
good.
role.
I think I would be really good in like a sitcom.
Do you want so you want to be in a
Yeah,
sitcom?
yeah. I would be really good in a sitcom where you go to the studio, you rehearse all week, and then you shoot at the end of the week.
True.
Like a multicam show,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because that's my style. Like
That's
I
true.
like
Yeah.
rehearsing.
Mm-hmm.
You need
And
rehearsing.
I need rehearsing. I like rehearsing, and then put it up at the end of the week. And you know, obviously, I would always love like a live studio audience, but they don't do that anymore. But
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
but I mean, I'm sure they. But anyway, that's the same idea. And then I'll never forget when I was in LA, I did some extra work and then some featured extra work.
Yeah.
And I was on a sitcom, and I was like, oh my God, this is where I should be. Like,
Quirky dad.
like I'm looking at the lead. I was in the set with the leads, and I was like, oh my God, the guy kept messing up his lines or whatever, and I'm like, I could just jump in
That's
and
me.
do this. Yeah,
No, you
well,
couldn't
no,
because you'd mess up the lines.
no. But anyway, I just felt like I should be there.
Like the dad on Modern Family, like Phil.
What? Yeah. What show would you relate it to?
Me?
Yeah.
It's weird. What's that Disney show with the funny dad?
Charlie. Or no, what's it called?
Good Luck Charlie.
Yeah,
Good Luck Charlie, yeah.
I think I'd be really good at Good Luck Charlie.
I could see that. I
yeah.
could see
Dad.
that.
The
Yeah.
dad on that.
What was the dad's name? Bob.
I don't know. Yeah,
I think so.
but it's
Bob,
always
yeah.
funny. It's funny that I say that show, but I always go, I'd be really good at that show. Like I'd be
never
good.
know.
Just like
Yeah,
the
you never
fun
know.
dad.
I'd be a kind of a fun, goofy dad
Yeah.
character. I think that's a good role for me.
Like the dad on Modern Family.
What, I mean,
Phil.
Oh, Phil.
I haven't seen
I'm a
Modern
different
Family.
actor than that guy.
Well, I'm not saying
I
they're the
think.
same actor, but that kind of a role.
Yeah.
Or
Like,
even like
quirky
from
dad.
Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah.
Yeah, same
that
same
guy
thing.
Was
That
like
guy-
Selena
that guy-
Gomez's dad.
that
his
guy too.
character.
We need
Yeah,
to,
where
like,
he's
hook you up
quirky,
with Disney.
goofy, funny.
Yeah, I think I'd be good in
Like
that
Billy
kind
Ray Cyrus and Hannah Montana.
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
Eric can sing too.
Yeah, I just grow my hair out,
Right.
straighten it out. It'd Be
Perfect.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's funny though, and we always say that. But Doug, our acting coach,
Mm-hmm.
he always says, "I know you think that, Eric, but he thinks I'd be good in like when me and you played that scene when I was the shrink and you were the,
Good Will
Hunting.
Hunting.
Oh.
Like he likes me in that kind of a role, and then he also liked me in the role I did with Reagan, that play where I was her dad, and I was like a sympathetic, caring guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so he says, don't underestimate yourself. He goes, I see you more in that.
I
than
see
this.
you as like a psycho.
Yeah, I could play
like a
crazy
Jack
guy.
Nicholson.
Yeah.
Not Nicholson.
I love
Nicholas.
Jack Nicholson. I yeah.
No, I can kind of agree with Doug on that end too.
Mhm.
I think because we're so used to seeing you with
Goofing
putting up like comedic scenes.
yeah.
So when you do take on something serious, it is definitely a more it's a different Eric.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
definitely feel more I feel
Grounded.
I feel when I'm done with the scene, I feel very proud of the scene I put up. I feel very
Yeah.
accomplished
Here's
when
a
I do that.
question.
Yeah. When I'm goofing around, that's kind of me.
Is like
Yeah,
the
but
goo-
but a lot of people can't even do that. So I
Right.
applaud you for going in there and not
Yeah.
being embarrassed of like, oh, what are people gonna think, or what if I do this?
Oh, I
or
used
do
to be.
that.
Now I'm not. I used to be though.
Yeah, now you just go in and
Yeah.
it's always funny.
Yep. Thank you.
is the goofy dad like a safety net though?
Yeah,
That, like,
I think
you're-
it is.
It's like that's
I
like
think
a
it is a
security
safety
blanket.
net,
Like
yeah.
I can do this. It's
Like, I
fine.
can-
It's comfortable.
No matter what you throw at me, I can do that
I
role.
can do this.
Yeah.
So that's like your comfort role.
Right. And you don't have to. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not like I would shed a tear and everything. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's me and Rob are actually gonna do a scene from Good Will Hunting. It's the scene
one?
where we're arguing and then he says it's not your fault.
Oh, that's
It's
a
not
good.
your fault. It's not your
Oh,
fault.
Yeah.
Then I would love to do the Skylar scene too.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how I named Skylar. Did you know that from that movie?
Really?
Yeah, that's how I got her name, Skylar. I love that name in the movie. I'm like, oh my god, I
Huh.
love that name when I very first saw the movie, and that's
Uh-huh.
always stuck in my head. And I always wanted to name my
Wow.
daughter Skylar.
How'd you get River? Were you fishing
Was your
down at the
mom?
river?
Yeah, I'm a fly fisherman, and I was fishing. I went to the movie. The river runs through it.
That was like in the 80s.
No, my mom came up with River, and we just loved it for boy or girl. So that's kind of what happened.
What about Tanner?
Hmm.
You getting tan one day?
No.
Or you're laying on the beach.
Like, if you're asking me all these questions, Tanner, weirdly, I was working on a street called Tannerwood, and I was troweling concrete, and it was a street sign was right there, and I kept saying it was Tannerwood, and I kind of liked it, and I just came home and I said, I like the name Tanner, and it kind of stuck, yeah.
Who's your favorite kid?
They all are my favorite.
Me.
But the
They all
one
have
who
their favorite
but the one who will
traits.
be listening to this podcast 100% is Skylar.
Oh, yeah,
Really?
that's true. She listens every week. I give her
Oh,
that.
that's
Tanner
sweet.
She's
listens here and there.
dedicated.
River I don't think listens hardly at all. But
He'll probably listen to this one, though, because Jazz is on.
right.
Yeah, I'll tell Riv too.
You tell River that he's my favorite. I'll tell Skylar right now you're my favorite. And then Tanner, I'll tell him it's swimming.
There you go. You tell them each separately, individually.
Right. I tell them
so they all think.
each separately that they're my favorite.
Slide them $100. You're my favorite.
You
Little do
literally,
they know
yeah.
each one got it.
Right.
Yep.
And do you know who one of my favorite contractors is?
I do.
This guy right here.
Hey everybody, this is Joe LaMonica with LaMonica Custom Builders. You want a custom home from a Southern California premier home builder? Call me, Joe LaMonica with LaMonica Custom Builders. 310-465-3347.
He's also mine.
Oh, your favorite contractor too.
He is.
Well, we got Rob from G&E, so yeah.
That's not a different
He's a
kind
painting
of
contractor, though,
contractor.
yeah.
Right. Joe's a general.
Yeah. Do you know Joe LaMonica, Jazz?
That sounds familiar, but
You probably don't really know him, yeah, but he's a good friend of ours, but he'll be coming up. Does
Does he do painting?
No,
He's
he is a general.
general.
He does big houses down in L.A. He lives in Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, yeah. But
Because we're trying to get our house painted.
oh, well, you can call Rob from G&E.
It's,
He's our other
it's
sponsor that come on
rough
here.
to find.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. They're so everybody's so busy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Is that why you're asking who painted the studio?
Yeah.
Oh, I might know somebody
Jazz
I
wants
can
me to
hook
come
you
out
up
and go
with.
paint out there.
But it's we're trying to do the whole outside of the house.
yeah,
So obviously we want it to be done good.
right. Well,
Right.
after the podcast, I can probably refer you to somebody.
Yeah, please.
I
Okay.
probably can too. I got a coworker.
So, if you had to take, we're going to go to a different subject here.
Okay.
I want to ask you this question. I was wondering, did you see the Barbie movie?
I have not seen Barbie or Oppenheimer yet.
Okay, so we saw both of them.
You did?
Yeah.
we saw both of them. The Barbie movie, I thought I didn't like that.
Okay, that's because you're like real kind of sexist.
It's because he's Ken.
Well, the Barbie movie had some kind of sexist thing in it where they thought men were like shitheads.
Really?
I mean, not really.
Yeah, they
were just
it was actually I don't know what kind of movie it was, but it was like putting men down.
a little bit.
for
yeah.
sure.
It kind of Ken, in all honesty, is like Barbie's sidekick. There's no Ken without Barbie in the reality.
So
of the
that's why
Barbie
they
world.
maybe did that.
So
Like
they
Barbie,
did make Ken.
Barbie was always bigger than Ken. Always,
But if
like,
you look at it,
put him down.
they're kind of just saying like every person, man or woman, because Ken didn't have an identity without Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying, and they said it in the movie, like you need to know who you are without me.
Oh,
So like, because he like tried to do that and it failed.
right.
And so she they were just saying like
So you're saying Ken needs Barbie
in the Barbie world.
in the real world, maybe.
Yes, but then
But you said it was kind of a movie as in putting men down?
it started that way
Yeah, it was kind of weird
because all
But-
the Kens were kind of real dumb and.
But I heard
that makes
I heard just in the media, before that was like shaming men, putting men down or whatever. But it kind of really was. It didn't bug me at all. It didn't bug me at all. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel?
How does what feel? Does it
What,
feel-
what
it's fine.
from your point of view, Kiley, what did you think?
I liked it, and I liked they kind of went both ways. I think for men and women, like it wasn't like super like feminism women, but there was like little parts, but it was also like kind of putting a little bit of light. Like as women, we do a lot, but we don't get praise for it, and so they kind of did like a thing on that, like hey, like you deserve this, but like you can have this and you can do this, and like.
Yeah.
Kind of like, and I think at the end it was kind of like we should all kind of look and appreciate each other, whatever our sex is, for what we do, and have our own identities. And yes, maybe you need a Ken or want a Ken,
Right.
but you don't need a Ken. You can.
I don't know. It wasn't that good.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys see it. You guys see it.
I
Jazz,
thought it
but
was-
I was just
Yeah.
like, I was kind of bored.
What about Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer was pretty good. I mean, I don't put it in the. I don't put it in this. in the list of like one of my favorite movies or
I heard-
anything,
I
but I
heard,
heard
like,
it's good.
It's a lot of talking, right?
yeah.
A lot of
It's a lot of talking,
Talking
but
and
it's
walking
actually
and-
pretty interesting. We woke up the next day after we saw it, and we were talking about it. So
Hmm.
any movie you wake up the next day asking questions
yeah.
on, that's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
But is that the subject matter or the movie?
It's a subject matter
Mm.
more so, but I've heard a lot of, I go to after swimming with some of the guys from swimming, and a few of the guys didn't like it at all.
Oh.
They're like, it was
okay.
boring, it was this, it was
That's
that. I
what-
liked it though.
yeah,
I liked it.
One of my friends put on social media. He said he fell asleep, and he said the
Oh.
only time he was awake was during the
The bomb.
bomb.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, "How can you even sleep?" Because I heard
Yeah.
the sound is it's loud.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you'll like it. The acting is
The acting is
real good.
Very
so you're
good.
just if you're an actor watching it, you're like, oh my god, that's okay. And there's
Uh-huh.
it's real good. And there's a lot of really big names in it too.
Oh
A
yeah,
lot,
yeah,
yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
Even
go ahead.
what's his name? Robert Downey Jr. He said that
Yeah.
was the best movie he's ever been in, hands down.
Oh.
I
I feel like for
it didn't
him,
even look
yeah.
like him. Like
Mm.
Kylie didn't even know it was him.
I'm like, it's not him. And
Yeah.
he's like, yes, it is. And I was looking, I'm like, oh my God, it is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because he usually plays a quirky kind
He
of
was
guy
not
too.
quirky.
He
Yeah.
was a serious guy
Yep.
like that too.
But Killian Murphy, he killed it, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, was that the lead?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what his name was,
I
but
know you didn't.
oh my god,
Yeah.
that guy will win Academy
He
Award.
deserves to.
Yeah. He was in every scene of that movie.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a
Jeez.
scene without him.
I
really don't.
I know.
There was not a scene without
Just
him.
like the Senate ones with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
Those
a
ones.
couple of those.
Was the bomb pretty gnarly?
Yeah, it made you
Yeah.
really think. Like nowadays,
And he said
You
there
know-
was no VFX at all used in that movie.
yeah. So I don't know how they did that, but
They did a trick with the camera, so they did a lot with the camera. I've seen in an interview with Nolan, Christopher Nolan, and he
Right.
explained it. But yeah, his one of his things was he does not want to use VFX at all in this movie.
right. River's like super big fan. River knows if you ever want to know anything about this movie, ask River. He knows everything
Very
about
true.
it. Like he's
About like
obsessed
the
with
real story, right?
it. No, we just not
No,
just
no.
how to
Oh,
make how
about-
they made the movie. How they made the
Damn,
movie.
I will
Yeah,
actually.
he went and saw it twice.
He did.
So yeah,
Eee.
yeah, he's insane. You know what another movie came out and I thought was kind of funny?
What?
Disney, Disney's taking a big hit these days.
Yes.
Because now you might have a different take on this. Disney is changing a lot of these stories.
Stories
Yeah,
are characters.
Like we talked about this last week on
Both.
the or
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. Like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, they're not doing dwarfs.
They're not
doing like
dwarves
bigger
anymore.
people.
Yeah, and
you
and
know.
I heard like even the people that are smaller, they were mad. They were like, these roles are literally
Yeah.
for us,
Like-
and you guys are giving it
You're
to
taking them away
average
from us.
height people.
Right.
Yeah.
We did a whole thing on this, and they were kind of angry about it.
Very
because
angry.
it's-
Yeah.
They're taking our work.
Yeah.
But Disney's
They're trying to
do
be
the right
inclusive,
thing,
but
they're
they're
doing the wrong thing.
excluding.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're taking
yeah,
these people
yeah.
out of work, but trying to do. I don't even know if it is the right thing. But here's one
Mhm.
thing that Disney did. They made this movie, The Haunted Mansion.
Oh, yes.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but they put it out in July, and it did
Huh?
horrible at the box.
I wondered that. Why
They
would
just
you
put it
in
out last
July?
week. And
Why?
they said
They
it did
should've done it in
horrible
October.
at the box office, and so everybody's saying, why didn't Disney put that out in October in Halloween time?
Right.
And
And it's supposedly like a really good movie. It's just no one wants to go see a Halloween movie or
because
a
you're not
haunted
in the
house movie
mood to watch a Halloween movie.
in hot July.
Yeah.
you want to
Right.
go see like Independence Day or something or Spider-Man or
Well, you
right.
don't hear Mariah Carey's Christmas song in July.
right.
Right.
You hear it at Christmas because that's when the spirit is. And
Right.
when you're in a
Right.
Halloween spirit, you want to see spooky things.
Right.
Right. So it bombed at the box office,
Mhm.
and so I
So
don't
did
know what.
Indiana Jones too.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I heard-
everybody just might have been burned out on that one.
Well, I think
Maybe,
it came
yeah,
out before, like,
the strike, right, and everything.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. With
Even
that
the
one.
Flash, the Flash bombed as well.
Yes, it did.
I didn't even know that was out.
Yeah, so they took
Yeah.
hits after hits.
So it's kind of, I mean, this Barbie movie and the Oppenheimer movie is kind of rejuvenating the movies because people are going out and
Okay.
seeing them. And then,
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, I don't know. We're going to go see the Sound of Freedom.
Yep,
Yes.
please do.
Yeah, we're going to go see that. Well, maybe tomorrow. I don't want to leave the theater. We like
I
going
know.
down to the theater down here, the luxury one with
Well, I
the,
just want general like, to
the-
leave
yeah,
the theaters.
the Century.
the Century one. But
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be in theaters for a
much
while.
longer, yeah.
Because they even said it too. It's not a big budget movie.
No.
It's through Angel Studios, and yeah, so it's not gonna be in theaters for a long time.
Right. Without
so-
giving too much away, because I want to see this movie.
Uh-huh.
Is there a lot of controversy because of the sex trafficking thing?
Um,
Is that what the movie's about?
it is about? Sex trafficking, but it's based on a real story, and they'll show you real footage at the end of the movie.
Well, maybe that's why there's some controversy out there. They don't want people to see this in the movie theater.
Oh, no, they do not. I guess a lot of
Because
theaters over the world,
they're like not.
Yeah, they were coming up with
Oh,
excuses.
the air
like,
conditioning's out. You can't see it.
So I think even Mel Gibson, they all stood by this film and they said it. They're all like, hey, like there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to want you to see it. And I think that's why they release such big movies as Barbie and Oppenheimer. So it kind of takes you away from Sound of Freedom.
Oh.
You know, even in class when I ask, like, has anyone seen Sound of Freedom?
I never heard it. I never even heard of it.
Because it's not publicized. No one even
No,
talks
they
about
didn't
it.
talk about it at all.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you know, so it is true what you guys are saying. So, but when you do see it, you'll know why they don't want you to see it.
Okay, that's yeah. It's because it's revealing a lot out there, and people.
And the
don't know
acting
what's
is
going on.
the acting is amazing.
Which there's a lot of big names in it that I didn't realize.
Who's the star?
It's the guy that I can't think of his name right now, but it's the same guy that played in The Passion of Christ.
Oh, yes.
Mel Gibson's film?
Yeah. He's never seen that either.
Did Mel
but
Gibson
it's
make this
fine.
movie?
No. He just stands behind because he knows the message. You know, because there's a lot of sex traffic that goes in Hollywood.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That they just don't want you to see it. So when this movie comes out,
it's
you know, they're trying to push it down with Barbie and Oppenheimer.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. And they know that slowly it's going to start to fizzle out. And then,
and
you know, everyone's going to be talking about Barbie.
Yep. Hey, I was going to ask you, I asked you about your other tattoo you have, right? Or I mean, I asked you about the family one that you have, or what was that one?
Which one?
The written one. I asked you about that one earlier in the podcast.
Yes, on the chest.
But now I'm going to ask you. You just got a tattoo on your left shoulder.
Yes, I did.
The big lion.
Yeah.
Now, when you got that, and I think it's a great tattoo, and it looks really good and everything, and I liked it. Was there any issues of you getting that with your agent or anybody, or did you just get it? Or you want me to cut this out of the podcast?
No.
You look like you want me to cut it out.
Damn it, Eric.
I can cut it out.
No.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
My first
He's gonna
tattoo
find
was
out anyways.
Yeah. My first tattoo was this lightning bolt tattoo, and I had asked my agent, and he said, make sure it's under 2 inches. Scared, you know. I was like, all right, so I got it. And then, you know, and I just started seeing all the younger actors, you know, for example, like KJ Apa.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
And then I was all like, well, it's not, you know, like affecting their work. So, and then I just started realizing that more and more younger actors were blasted. You know, a lot of them had their stomachs tatted up, their arms, they had sleeves. And look at Johnny Depp, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And then, you know, then I had the chest tattoo, and I was in a director session, and I had to play a scene that I was shirtless. So I was like, obviously, it doesn't really matter. And then I got the lion one, and I was like, it really does not matter unless you have, like, face tattoos and something distracting. Because that's all the tattoos that I have, it can be all hidden with the shirt. I put on a shirt, and then it's not there. But even if it was on my forearms, it's not that big of a deal because unless the role, because there are going to be some roles that are going to be like, if it's a historical
clean
piece.
cut, yeah.
Yeah, but in this day and age, like, come on. Like,
it's so easy to cover it now.
Yes.
Now,
I expect when I'm watching TV and someone takes their shirt off, I expect to see a tattoo.
Because it's so normalized
it's odd
now.
if they don't have a tattoo.
Like, I remember there's a couple movies, and like, back, 15 years ago, where you could tell they were covering a tattoo because the makeup wasn't good. They didn't know how to do it. And now it's like, I'll see people, I'm like, they have tattoos? They covered them great.
What I noticed, like, you get that, do you get Cosmopolitans at the magazine
I
you get?
still do. I can't cancel
Almost
that
everybody on
fucking
the
thing.
cover has a tattoo these days.
Yeah. And I think a lot of, even like a lot of singers now. I think it's just so modern. It's so modern now that everyone, I do believe, wants a tattoo. And I used to be scared because I love tattoos. I think it's if they mean something to you, and getting a piece like that on my shoulder, it represents like my culture, you know. And then the one on my chest, it was something that I had to deal with when I was a kid. And the lightning bolt was my first acting job. But it's true what they say. Once you get one tattoo, you get addicted. It's better to not have a tattoo than to have a tattoo, because once you have
you just
one,
want more.
yeah, you see that. Because I used to look at the lightning bolt and I was like, it's like, it's boring now. I want another one.
Yeah. Ask Kiley how many tattoos she has.
How many do you have, Kiley?
Well, just roughly. Count them all.
17 or 18 or something like that.
17 or 18?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite tattoo?
My favorite?
Kiley doesn't do good answering these questions.
I'm not, because I have like a few that are.
While you're thinking of that, I wonder if this guy has any tattoos.
This segment of Life with Eric is brought to you by
G&E Painting and Drywall, servicing Reno, Tahoe, and Truckee areas for over 25 years.
Call G&E today for all of your painting and drywall needs at 775-833-0551.
We're all waiting. Do you have an answer for us?
That's hard because I think
Oh my
of
God, you don't have an answer
I think
for
of
us?
like 3 different ones that are my favorite.
Okay, go. What are they?
I think maybe I can order of how I got them. The snowflake on my foot is one of my favorites because me and my sister and my 2 cousins have it. All the same, and it's like a representation or an honor of our grandma.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I do like that one. I've won a quote on my rib cage. It says, "Wherever the fates lead us, let us follow." And I like that one just because I actually got it like when I was getting divorced, and so it was kind of a time in my life where I was feeling a little lost. But then I kind of always go back to it, and I'm like, no, like all things happen for a reason. I'm on like this path. And then
The third one?
I would have to say one of the ones I got with Allie, my best friend, because they just represent a lot of
Is it the big E you got?
E. Eric has a tattoo that says trust.
Right. You're like the one person
People always say, what does that say? Thrust?
that doesn't.
That's what I used to think.
You're like the
this
one
mug.
person that doesn't want more tattoos.
I don't
Yeah,
want
Eric,
I
you
don't
don't-
really want more tattoos.
I try.
Probably just scared of the pain.
We went.
No,
We got
maybe,
tattoos
yeah.
in San Diego, and he would. I'm like, come on, let's get it one.
I don't want to get
and
one.
he wouldn't come with us.
No.
He has a tramp stamp.
Yeah. No tramp
Thrust.
stamp. I have my first tattoo I ever got was on my shoulder, and now it looks like a blob.
It is a little blobby.
Yeah.
You know, but I got it a long time ago. It's kind of old, you know. And I should never got on top of my shoulder. That's like a bad spot for sun and everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so you
especially
gotta
when
get
you
it-
first get it.
Yeah, you got to get it in a better spot. But at the time I got it, I was playing a lot of volleyball and everything too. It was always out in the sun, you know. But
Did you wear sunblock?
probably not. I don't know. I mean, I probably did. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? There's a couple things out there these days, and
What?
since we never have young people on the podcast, I want to get some perspective on this.
Yes, sir.
Why is everybody these days bisexual?
Oh, I don't. He doesn't run any of these things by me, so I never know what's coming out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
No, I was talking to Jazz.
Yeah.
These days, it seems like everybody says, "Oh, they're bisexual. They're bisexual."
I think
Is everybody bisexual these days, or am I just lost?
I think if it honestly, like, if it truly makes a person happy and that's what they identify as, then I'm all up for it. But I think there's a lot of stuff that goes on social media where they think that that's gonna give them clout or that's gonna make them more
okay.
famous
I
or
can see
more
that.
relatable, which takes away from the whole movement itself.
Agreed.
And it's selfish, too, and it's
This is
disrespectful.
people that
to,
truly are.
Exactly, because I know there's just certain things sometimes you just know when you see
It's
someone
like
on-
trendy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
It's
I
like the
agree. If you're
cool
just
thing.
if you
Yeah.
are really bisexual,
Fantastic.
fine. If you're gay, you're
Exactly.
straight, whatever,
Exactly.
fine. But don't be something you're not.
to
Exactly.
try to
Just
like
say I'm bi,
fit.
yeah.
I don't know if it's even fitting in. I don't even know.
But I think it's just
To be cool.
to be cool, to be like to be trendier, to be more accepted instead of just being yourself. And like I said, it's disrespectful and it's
to those, yeah.
yeah
I
to
agree.
those that they are,
Yep.
But I have been seeing that a lot on TikTok.
Yeah.
yeah, I've been seeing that. I just hear it a lot because I talk to Skylar pretty much every
and
day.
like
she'll go,
everybody's
oh,
bisexual.
so and so's bisexual. So
every
and so's
every single we're like,
is
who's
everybody
not?
bisexual?
Yeah. And I think at this day and age, I think a lot of people do want to experiment for some
What do
reason.
you mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
I do.
I you disagree with that. You
We disagree with that.
you just I don't believe.
Yeah.
I will find a guy to put his dick in your face. Let's see if you can experiment with that. Lies.
But I think
Yeah.
ultimately, at the end of the day, like I'm all up
Lies.
for if something makes someone happy, then do it.
Oh,
but just
yeah.
don't do it out of ill intentions or don't
Agree.
do it out of
Yes.
to gain something from it. If that's what what truly makes you happy, then I support you.
Right.
Here's the next
I agree.
thing I got for you.
Mm-hmm.
Self checkout. What
Sorry.
do you think of like all
I don't
these
know.
stores?
I feel like I'm
Target,
working there.
Like yeah,
Right. It's true.
yeah. What do you
Like
think?
Walmart
of, like,
doesn't even have checkout
No.
people anymore.
They're starting to. There's in the Midwest. There's a big like It's not Kroger's, but it's another big name grocery store.
Uh-huh.
They're going to 100% self checkout.
They are totally going to lose
So
money.
you Well, they have people working the self-checkout to
Not
help
really.
you out. Like
yeah,
if you're
those
too,
apples, organic apples, will therefore go in non-organic. I've done that many a times.
Yeah, same.
well, I
Those are
don't
like different avocados. I
Yeah,
just put in whatever's
yeah,
the cheapest,
for
smallest
sure.
one.
Yep.
Yeah, River got we had to go get bananas at Rayleigh's one time, and so I get in the regular line to get it's like 5 bananas, right? That's all we needed. And so
Was there like 17 people in front of you?
there was a few people in line, and River's like, "Hey, go to the self checkout."
With
I
one
don't want to go
thing,
to the
yeah.
self checkout, River, because I don't want to put it on the scale, try to find it. I don't know what I don't know what I'm doing,
You don't.
right? And so River's like, don't go. So finally, I listened to him, and I go into the self checkout thing. I put the bananas on, and they won't ring up. So the kid comes over and tries to help us out, and he can't get them to ring up too. And so I start getting all angry at the bananas because I couldn't check them out. I said, I'm never going to self checkout again. But anyway, pretty soon things are.
You're going to have to go to self-checkout.
I had this idea a long time ago, Jazz, and this is 100% truth. This is probably 25 years ago. I said, pretty soon you're going to have this thing where you throw everything in your cart.
Yeah, Amazon
and you
did it.
I know, but no, and you just walk it through the line, and it charges your card or whatever, and you just roll your cart right through, and everything's charged, and you take it straight to your car. You don't scan each product. I said someday it's going to be like that, but they have those Amazon stores now. You go in, you buy stuff, you walk out, and it charges your card.
But it's like
So
you
why
have to
wouldn't
be
groceries do that?
careful with those ones because it like knows when you take stuff off the shelf, and if you put it back, you have to make sure it like did that.
Well, I'm just saying the technology should get
right.
good enough that you don't need self-checkout. Can you just throw it in your cart and walk out, and it charges you?
I mean, it's going to get there.
But even with self-checkout, there's a lot of times where I feel like I work there. You
Right,
know, where I'm
like-
like, oh, what's the code to this? Or what's this? Why won't this
Oh my God,
scan? And
yes.
this? And then you're looking around and
Nobody's there to help
yeah,
you.
What about when you look behind you and there's an asshole that's unloading like 150
I
items?
hate
Yes,
that. I will never go
And
if I
they're
have like
looking-
a full cart.
they're
It's like
looking-
5 things. Let's do
exactly.
Not
And
half
it
its
says
produce.
it on there too. I think it's like
it. Like
5 or
15 or less.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh,
but
does it
people
really?
in there
I
with
didn't
the
know that,
whole
yeah.
they have like
I've seen people with whole carts.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Like Target, I don't go to Walmart very often, but Target is basically all self-checkout now. There's like never anyone at the
I didn't know
other
Target
ones.
had That's
Oh
the
my
last
God.
time I've been to a
They
Target.
they
I
put
didn't-
installed self-checkout. So it's like I'm checking myself out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you like when people help you to check out?
I just I feel like in every checkout there should be someone there just in case, because there's a lot of times where I'm just lost and I'm looking around.
Right. Or
and-
your lights, like you are buying alcohol or something. The light,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm
Oh, right,
waiting.
yeah.
And
I'm
then it kinda
waiting
feels
for like
like-
3 minutes.
and everyone's looking at you just like, you know, when your lights
or like
beeping.
errors, yeah, and you're like, I can't do anything about this. Yeah.
And I'm just kind of also mad too that they don't have Apple Pay everywhere too.
I don't do Apple
like,
Pay. I
when
don't
I-
even know what that is really.
Oh boy.
I don't. I mean, I'll do it probably, but all my kids are like that too.
Okay.
They always do Apple Pay and everything.
Because it's so convenient than carrying a wallet. It's because it's a digital card in your phone
Oh, is it? See, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
that you could just take
Links to
anywhere
your bank
with you.
account, yeah.
Oh, so you don't even need your wallet with you.
No, you just scan
Oh.
your phone.
Did you know that the new iOS update, they're gonna start having for iPhones? I believe for iPhone, they're gonna have your ID,
Oh.
so you can use your ID as a Apple Wallet, basically.
Whoa.
Yeah, it'll have all your information, so you don't really even. And then when you go to airports, you don't
Yeah,
even
you can
need your
just-
ID.
Some
you just
planes are
have
going
it.
down. Some planes are
I
going
mean,
down.
that's kind of
Yeah.
handy
We're
if
gonna
you
scan
lose
this
your ID
system.
and stuff.
Literally, yeah, it's in your phone, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be accepted everywhere.
Oh.
You know what I want them to get rid of, and we were talking about this last week.
What?
You know how you get
What?
all those Facebook ads and everything?
Yes,
You know what I started getting last week? I got an ad for Depends on my Facebook.
you did.
Yeah, for adult diapers. I'm like, how did I get this? Right? Like, I must have been talking about it probably on the podcast or something.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm looking a website up of adult diapers.
He's going to put it on the grocery list one day.
Did you order? He's gonna do a self checkout.
No, I don't know. My mom's like, I don't even get those ads.
You're early,
Like, I
Eric.
know.
Adult diaper.
Right. Life with Eric podcast is brought to you by Petrola Concrete Construction and doTERRA Essential Oils. You can get those from Aislinn Mueller. And look her up on Insta, Jazz, at This Essential
Insta.
Life. And this podcast is also sponsored by 430 National and Reno Yard LLC. Hey, Jazz, can you have your friends subscribe to us?
Oh, I saw one.
Yeah, I'll
And
put it on there.
Rate us a 5 and listen to us. Maybe
Yeah.
all your acting buddies and stuff and everybody
Yeah,
will
yeah.
friends will listen to this episode little acting episode. And if they share us with a friend, it helps us out. Makes our ratings.
Of course.
Makes our ratings and everything go up. Unless they listen to us on Stitcher.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Do you know
going
what
away.
Stitcher is?
No, but I heard
I
you and
didn't
Doug
either.
talk about it one day.
Yeah, Stitcher is going. Pandora bought. We're on Stitcher.
Which Sirius used to own Stitcher.
Yeah, and now Pandora is buying Stitcher. So instead of if you're on Stitcher, now you got to listen to it on Pandora or Apple Podcast, whatever. But Doug, it's funny. Doug listens to us on Stitcher.
I know.
Yeah,
I didn't even
He's
know
the
what
only one I
Stitcher
know
was.
of. I don't even know. I
He's
mean,
the one that asked you. He's like, is it on Stitcher?
I'm like, actually,
I
it
know.
is.
And I was like, Stitcher?
Yeah,
I didn't know what it was
it
till we
must
did
be an
this
old
podcast.
school
For old
podcast.
people,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, because he listens to Smartless on there too.
Oh well, he's
all the
got to
time.
change his podcast.
What?
His
Yeah, he's gonna have to change his
Yeah,
His
to
handle,
Spotify
his-
or
yeah,
Apple Music.
his
or
handle or
I
whatever
don't
you
think
want
it's
to call
a
it.
handle.
What do you call that for a podcast? I don't know what you call
Platform.
platform.
it. Yeah.
Handle.
Yeah.
This is what I deal
That's
with
why adult diapers
daily,
are showing up.
right? It's all making
Dementia
sense.
medicine and dementia medicine and
Adult diapers.
What'd you think when you saw the ad, Eric?
Did you think like, I might need those?
I didn't know. I'm like, how would they ever get on there? That's just ridiculous. Because what started it, I was getting like, my mom and I were talking about like shoulder, like braces and you know, like, and my mom has this thing brace for her foot and stuff. So we were talking, and then next day I started getting things for like a shoulder brace or a brace for your foot. And as I'm scrolling through, Depends, maybe because we were talking about
They're
that.
like,
they
you
just-
must be old.
This guy must need Depends too.
Yeah. If he's got all these problems, he's gonna need Depends.
He must need that too.
When you saw it, you were like, dang, what the heck?
Right.
It's a
What, is
sign.
it time for this already?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just gonna start getting you those for Christmas instead of any underwear.
Yes, pile them up. Pile them up in the corner. But you know what time it is, dear? Speaking of timing, last call. This is an easy one today. Who are we cheersing today?
Obviously, we're gonna cheers Jazz.
Cheers, Jazz. Thanks for coming out,
Yes,
man.
thank
Of
you.
course. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me and the sloppy
Yeah, for
joes.
sure. You know what? I'm gonna get. Do you want to take a sloppy Joe home? We'll make you one. And you take it home.
Yeah, I
for
would
like
love to.
lunch
Home.
tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yep. You eat that for lunch tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
You'll be loving it.
Yeah.
Best sloppy Joe you ever had.
Oh boy.
You can-
I don't even remember the last time I've
So
had
this
a
is the
slop-
best.
I think it was
one.
in middle or elementary school.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
No, those are shit.
Okay.
You're talking about
so
at the
that's what
school.
I'm.
You're talking
Yeah.
at the school cafeteria.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I had.
Mine
I
gotta
haven't
be.
had
Mine
sloppy
gotta be
joes.
better than the school cafeteria.
Yeah.
I hope that they are.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, they used to have these pizzas at school lunches.
yeah.
And it was like in the little square
I used to like
box.
those. I used to
I
like
used
those.
to love those. I used
Yeah.
to drench that with ranch and then cut it up in little pieces. Oh, that was good. And also chicken nuggets and.
Yep.
Oh
I
my
loved corn
God.
dog day.
They used to have corn
Yes,
dog
yes,
day.
yes.
and
Corn dog.
They used to have burritos too.
Bean burritos.
We
Yeah,
didn't have
bean
burritos very often.
we
I
had
feel at
bean
my
burritos.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. It was, surprisingly.
Certain days I would.
Certain days.
Certain days you definitely want the
My
hot
mom
lunch.
only let us
Yeah.
have hot lunch like once a week, I think.
Uh-huh.
And so we had to like pick, like look at the menu and like what day are we gonna do it?
Do you know what the worst day was? Friday.
How come?
Why?
Because they always have fish sticks.
Oh, because you
I don't know if
oh
you knew that. They in elementary school.
That's
I'm
like
a
a
lot older than you guys.
old
They
Catholic
always
thing.
had fish sticks on a Friday. Always.
Was it good?
No.
Oh.
I mean, no,
I
not
never
really.
picked that day.
Yeah, that's all.
I always
that's what
picked
they
corn
had.
dog day.
Yeah, I'll bet you if you look back, you had fish sticks still on Friday.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I was
they-
always jealous of people that their parents would like bring them lunch at school. You know, here's
Oh.
McDonald's, and I'd
Oh,
be sitting
yeah.
No one
there.
did
and
that
I'm
when I
just
was
like,
in
yeah.
school.
Yeah, and like I would never. My parents never showed up with lunch
Mine
or
didn't
even
either.
packed lunch. And then there was a lot of kids that would come to school with lunch, and it was something.
Oh, my mom was
good,
a
you
lunch maker.
Your mom
Really?
made you lunch every day.
Yeah. Well, my grandma was a dietitian,
know? Mm-hmm.
and so she, I think, was like, "You have to have like this healthy meal that I packed you."
Uh huh.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah,
We
I
didn't get
have
like
any.
chips. We got like crackers, and it would come with
Mm.
money to buy milk,
You know,
Aw.
like 50 cents to
my
buy
mom
milk.
used to make us fried bologna for lunch.
Oh,
Was it good?
Yeah, you take a bologna and you fry it,
Uh huh.
and
Like
then
crisp
and
it
then you
up?
put it on put on a little bun with mustard and ketchup.
oh, huh.
It's actually really good. Yeah,
Jeez.
fried bologna.
Never
try
had
that
I used to
one.
I used to love the chocolate milks at school too.
I did as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Chocolate milk, the little
Yeah.
juices,
Yep.
orange juice, apple juice you used to have,
Yeah,
and yeah.
those were the days.
But I was always
Jazz.
jealous of people that did
Right.
bring like chips or their
I didn't
parents
get
would drop
chips.
off.
Now, when you have
Yeah, right?
when you have kids,
I'm
will
like,
you
I gotta
like
get chips.
you, every once in a while bring your kid lunch to school?
Yeah,
Oh,
but I
yeah?
would always send them with like money too, because I know how I felt. Because they would have like little shops at school where you could buy like
Oh.
Yeah.
different lunches, like special lunches.
What?
And yeah, there was a couple times where there were. I mean, obviously they were like $1 or maybe $1.50, $4 for some items. and they had like chicken sandwiches, something different.
Oh.
And
Not have
We
that.
don't
Yeah,
even have
and-
that. You're in the
yeah.
new school, man.
exactly, and it was also one of those things too. If your parents made too much, then you wouldn't qualify for a school lunch. So
Oh, right. Yes.
I wasn't qualifying for a school lunch, and
Right.
then on top of that, my parents wouldn't send me to school with money because
Right.
I don't even know
Jeez.
what I was
They
thinking.
might not have like really understood what was going on.
Yeah, so then then I
It
would have to
worked.
like eat with my friend from his lunch, and then obviously when someo's hungry, they're like, "Oh my god, I gotta share this with."
Right.
You know,
sure.
like-
Well,
I'm
that's a
hungry
nice
too,
friend.
though. That is a nice friend.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah,
So when you have a kid, you bring him down like a porta sub or something once in a while.
yeah. Why not?
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like,
also
hey.
just send him to school with money, so he never feels, left
Like you
out.
need, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
he's watching other kids like
Like,
eat chips or extra things, and while he's over there with
Right. Now
My
my
peanut butter and
sticks.
jelly
you
sandwich.
know my brother
yeah.
Matt who lives in India.
yeah.
So my mom used to make him lunch
Oh,
in,
God.
in nursery school, and those little chocolate like they call them ho-hos,
Mm-hmm.
like little ho-hos. So every day he would come home and he would say, my mom would say, "How was your lunch?" And he would say, "Oh, the same kid keeps taking my ho-ho." Every like that. And so my mom goes to the teacher when she drops him off at school and she says, "Hey, some kid's taking this ho-ho." And so the teacher starts laughing. What is
She's
that?
like, what is she talking about?
What is he
What is
talking
this
about?
lady talking
So
about?
at
Uh-huh.
the time I was like 12, 13 years old, and Matt, I go, we're gonna get this kid. So I unwrapped the ho-ho and I filled the whole ho-ho with Tabasco
Ugh.
and then sealed it back up. So I said, when this kid steals your ho-ho, he's gonna freaking
Last
die.
time he was going to steal your
It's the
ho.
last time he's ever gonna freaking steal your ho-ho.
Did he eat that ho?
I
Do you
know.
know?
No one ever knows.
Oh.
Like the kid stole the ho-ho and fit into it with Tabasco all in it.
Dang, I thought you had like a so he never ate it.
I never heard what happened to it. I don't know. I just filled it. I injected it with Tabasco.
Ugh.
Like we didn't tell my mom either. Matt.
Oh,
Matt,
no.
Knowing Matt, Matt's probably listening to
I
this.
know. So I was like,
he
I
probably
threw it
threw it
away. I
away,
did not
you know?
let the kid
Yeah.
eat the
But he-
Tabasco
But yeah,
ho-ho.
you're not gonna let the kid eat an injected Tabasco ho-ho.
I would like the real what happened. I would like an update on that, Matt.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, I'm intrigued. It's a good story.
But anyway, Jazz, we're glad that you came on the podcast.
Very happy.
again.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir.
And
you.
I want to tell you, hey, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
I always
thank you.
I always told Jazz, ever since I've known him, and I know him since he's been a young kid.
Yeah.
And I said, one day you're going to be a movie star, and we're going to know you.
Wow. That means a lot.
And we are going to know you. And then
knew you.
when you get some big giant role and they need some older guy, like grandpa
No,
or
come
whatever,
on.
it's like,
Grandpa.
hey, I know this perfect guy.
Or
I
he's like,
actually know him. I'll call him up.
But like he wears adult diapers, but he's
Right, yeah.
really good at. He's a really good actor.
Yeah.
Oh
I'll bring
my
a duffel bag on set with the diapers.
It's like hanged up in your wardrobe.
Oh
Yeah,
my
trailer.
God.
Yeah. But anyway, on a serious note, when it does happen to you, it couldn't
And it
happen.
will.
It couldn't happen to a better guy.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Likewise,
So-
that goes. I love your grind as well.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, keep
if you make
grinding.
a big time, whatever, I'll send you down some care package with like sloppy joes,
Izzy's.
chicken tacos, some Izzy's.
Oh, yep, some
Izzy's.
Izzy's.
Mhm.
Yeah. I got for Jazz. Do you remember what I got Jazz for Christmas? A case of Izzy's.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
We
I do.
wra-
I'm like,
I wrapped it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a good present, but you probably thought
I
it was
did
something
have
better
to. I
than
remember
that.
because you're like,
You're like, wow, you got me a giant present
Well,
like
yeah.
that?
You told me that Kylie was like, "Why are you
I
giving
know.
him this?"
Well, and then he
I
was
thought
like,
it was a-
wrap it. I'm like, okay.
I thought it was a great present. Did you
no,
like it?
I loved it. I loved
Yeah,
it.
it was a case
I think it
of-
was gone in like 3-4 days.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
a case of Izzy's.
Yeah. What'd
Every
you say,
year
Kylie, when you first?
I-
She goes,
he-
why would you want me to wrap this? I go, well, I'm giving
Yes,
it to
he made me
Jazz for
wrap it.
Christmas.
I know. I was like, why am I wrapping a case of Izzy's?
I'm like, he loves these things.
Yeah. And it's good. It's 0 sugars and
I
you know,
didn't
it
know
tastes
that.
really good.
Yeah, it's like fruit juice or whatever.
Yeah.
It's fruit.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mhm. Izzy's are the best, man.
I never like sweet stuff,
Oh.
Mhm.
so it's not my jam.
Anyway, thanks for coming.
Yes, thank
Of course.
you.
Thank you guys for having me.
Subscribe or follow us on wherever you listen to your podcast, or just go to our website at lifewitheric.com.
And don't forget to follow us on social media for updates and a closer look into my life with Eric. To all of our listeners out there, remember, it's always happy hour here.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Love you, baby.